Hey, everybody, it's Jeff Hansen. We're back talking more BYU recruiting on National Signing Day. It's the best day of the year. Anybody who follows recruiting, who pays attention to the roster, signing day is like Christmas morning. We've been talking with as many BYU signees as we possibly can. And now we got the tight end. Well, I guess there's one of the tight ends. There's a handful of tight ends, but you were the first tight end, Blake, in the class. So you're the tight end of the class of 2025. How you doing today, Blake?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Awesome day. First and foremost, congratulations to you. You're living every little kid's dream, man, getting to sign and getting ready to play college football. That's incredible. What has the process been like for you?
The process has been awesome for me. I'm so grateful to be in this position. I'm so blessed to be part of the Cougar family. That's been a dream my whole life. It was obviously a long process throughout high school, but it was a great process, and I'm thankful that BYU recruited me early and that we were able to build our relationship. And I'm so excited to be a Cougar.
And BYU did recruit you early, and you came off the board pretty early. If I remember right, it was back in the spring. You had a ton of offers. Like at this point in the recruiting calendar, everybody's paying attention to those late minute flips and things like that. You had a long list of offers, a bunch of power schools coming after you really early. It's kind of easy, I think, for BYU fans to maybe take that for granted of what caliber of recruit you are coming into this class. How many offers did you end up with, and what was that process like with all of these other schools from really across the country that came calling you?
I ended up with about 17 offers. I was blessed. I had a lot of schools that I was super interested in. When I committed to BYU, they were my first visit of 7. I had visits lined up with Tennessee, Stanford, UCLA, Duke, Arizona State, and TCU. That was about my spring recruiting list. But as I visited BYU, I'd prayed a ton. Just asked my Heavenly Father where I'm supposed to go. And as I sat in my meeting with Kalani, it was clear that BYU is the home for me. And so I actually committed on the spot then and canceled the rest of my visits.
That's awesome. And I'm glad you brought Kalani up. That's something I've asked everybody so far. Kalani runs his program a little bit differently, right? I mean, you see these other head coaches across the country. Maybe they're fiery and intense and disciplinarian type, but Kalani, he's different. It's love and learn, and it's a completely different feel. What about that conversation with Kalani and really the whole program in general? What is it about Kalani Satake that makes him so special?
There's just so much about Coach Satake and BYU that stuck out to me. Probably one of the biggest things was family. I'd visited a ton of schools already. There's just not one school that made family such an importance as BYU. Like, for example, when I would walk into other schools, you'd kind of just walk by the players and they'd kind of just look at you like they're too big to talk to you. But as you went to BYU, everyone, they dabbed you up, gave you hugs, said they're so happy to see you there. And so that really stuck out to me and just made me feel like part of the BYU family right away. And then just obviously Coach Satake, kind of just being like a second father figure. That's kind of how he talked to me and my dad. Just he's going to raise me as his own son, and he's obviously going to turn me into the best football player he can make me, but as well as going to turn me into the best man I can be off the field. So I think that really stood out to me and just kind of showed me the values of BYU were a lot different than other places that I'd visit.
It is, man. It's crazy how different it is. Almost every recruit, and really this goes throughout Kalani's entire tenure, almost everybody that I talk to, and they talk about Kalani Satake, they mention the family aspect, and then they talk about their conversations with Kalani, and they don't even really talk ball when they talk with Kalani. You talk about life and all these other things. It's really interesting to me to just hear how differently he runs that program. Another new aspect to it was Coach Kevin Gilbride. And for us fans, we haven't really got to see a whole lot of Kevin Gilbride. He stays away from the camera, stays away from those press conferences. So other than that NFL resume, we don't get to see a ton of what Coach brings to the table. He was a pretty new hire when you decided to commit. What is it about Coach Gilbride that makes him unique, and maybe what stood out to you?
Coach Gilbride, he was a huge part of my decision to choose BYU. I value him and respect him so much. I think he's an amazing coach. I'd say just from the first time I met him, he really stood out compared to a lot of other coaches that I'd talked to. We're blessed to have quite a few recruits at my high school, and so we've had a lot of coaches come through the past couple springs, and a lot of other coaches just kind of like sat back and watched. But Coach Gilbride, he gave insight, and that from the get-go, that really impressed me. Then just being able to visit BYU and seeing how he worked in the film room and coaches players on and off the field. It was really impressive to me, and I've a lot of trust that he's a really good coach and can do a lot of great things with me.
That's awesome, man. He seems like a stud. I wish we got to hear more from him because I think he's a pretty funny dude when people do get to talk to him.
He is.
He seems great. I want to ask a question, maybe shifting gears a little bit, Blake. Let's say that you're officially a defensive coordinator, okay, and you've got to come up with a defensive game plan to stop Blake Bryce. How are you going to do it? How do you defend you?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's pretty hard. I think the tight end position obviously helps a lot because you can put me. I'll go in a 3-point stance. You can bump me out wide to the slots, even all the way out to the flats. So I think it's pretty challenging to guard a tight end just in general because I don't know, I can slam you down on a block and give my quarterback some extra time, or I can slam you down for a second and release on a route. So I'd say as a defensive coordinator, it's pretty hard to make those adjustments.
It's tough, right? And what is it about the tight end position? Man, tight ends are crazy. Tight ends are they're wired a little bit differently. I remember talking with Jackson Bowers a few years ago, and he said that his favorite thing to do on the football field was to just hit somebody on their back, laugh at them, help them up, and then do it again on the next play. You tight ends are wired a little bit differently, man. What is your favorite thing about being a tight end?
Oh, I'd say I love the whole position just as a whole. I don't think I could say there's one part that I like more than the other. Obviously, I like lining up and smacking somebody in the mouth, but then I love the next play, running down the field and catching the touchdown. I think it's the best position in football because you get the best of every world. But it's an awesome position to play.
And you're going to a school, right? BYU in the tight end spot. There's a long legacy of BYU tight ends. Have you thought? I mean, I think you grew up a BYU guy, a BYU fan. I mean, how much of that tight end history do you know about?
A lot. So my dad played tight end at BYU from 2000 to 04. So I grew up with tight end in my blood. I obviously heard all the stories of when he was there. So I've known and followed BYU tight ends my whole life.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to get you there. One question, it's a little bit different with BYU enrollment plans, right? There's guys that enroll right away in January. There's mission guys. There's the whole gambit of enrollment plans. What are your plans in terms of when are you going to get to BYU and start making an impact on the field?
Yeah, so I actually have my mission call. I leave January 27th.
Awesome.
So I graduate December 20th this next coming month, and I will graduate then, prepare for my mission, and then I'll serve in Philippines Manila mission until December of 2026. I'll come back about 6 weeks early.
That's
and then
incredible.
I'll enroll in BYU in the winter and start preparing for the next season.
Wow, that's incredible, man. The Philippines, I mean, that's a crazy place. How excited are you to get out there to learn something? I mean, that's something entirely new. Congratulations on the call, first and foremost. But how excited are you for that?
I'm so excited for that. I would leave today. I can't wait. It's been such a blessing. Just knowing the second that I open my call that's where the Lord needs me. And so I've been preparing, and it's so exciting to be able to serve him for 2 years.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. And congrats. That's a great play. I've known several people who have gone to the Philippines. I don't think I've known anybody who's ever come home from the Philippines and said, you know what, I wish I didn't go. I think everybody has loved it. Mm-hmm. What do we need to know about you, Blake? I mean, on and off the field, there's more to you than just the football player and what fans are able to see on a huddle tape, right? Tell us about you, man. I mean, what should BYU fans expect when you do get to BYU? What kind of player are you going to be? And then really just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I think when I get to BYU, I hope I'm a pretty fun player to watch. I like playing with a little bit of fire and aggression and bring a little bit of that passion onto the field. So I hope I can stop the BYU fans on and off the field. I'd say I'm a huge family person. I love my family. I'm so grateful for them. I love my Savior and the church, so I'm super big and all that stuff. I'm very outgoing. I love hanging out with my friends. I enjoy spending time with my family on the lake, going on bike rides. I don't like staying still. I don't. That's video games and stuff like that have never been my type of thing. So I'm just a super outgoing person. Love talking to people, and I'd say that's a lot about me.
That's incredible, man. Well, I know a lot of BYU fans are excited. It's going to be great to get more Bryces into that tight end room. That's awesome to continue that tight end legacy. Congratulations on a big day today, man. Signing day is as big as it gets. I hope you live it up. Hope you find a way to celebrate this one because, man, you're living every other kid's dream, right? There's a lot of dudes that don't get to play college ball. Congratulations to you. That's a ton of fun.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Awesome, man. We'll talk soon.